I think we're live. Sorry about that. I am actually driving home from my experience in Brockton at the protest, and we had a hard time get this working with mobile device. So that was fun. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead for the link up and have a little panel late at night. Cool. Glad it worked. So as I'm driving home, I'm just gonna see if anybody wants to join up. So I made it out of Brockton. I apologize. My phone died. I didn't die. I left right before they were gonna start making arrests for curfew because although I definitely wanted to experience one of these for myself and see, what it's like in person, I definitely don't feel like getting arrested today. Definitely wanted to go home to my family, which I think is fair anyway. But that was quite the experience. I did get tear gassed. I just want to throw that out there. I didn't cry like a bitch, so I don't know what Glenn's problem is, but they definitely filled the streets up with tear gas. I understand why though, because people were acting like goddamn animals. Justice for All says fuck Josh Abrams. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Oh, Ed. Yeah, no, I'm fine. I didn't find that to be like a frightening experience or whatever. It was just eye opening. There's a lot of anger in the streets, like holy shit. And I think a lot of people that just want to get out and cause some ruckus because they're bored. Because I mean, I definitely got that impression that people were just bored. And I mean, there didn't seem to be a lot of organization to this particular protest. They were kind of all over the place, disorganized. Definitely, it was it was definitely interesting to watch. I don't understand why like throwing fireworks at the cops is such a dumb idea, such a stupid idea. I mean, I don't think I saw any Antifa. No, it was mainly just your run of the mill Brockton people. With all due respect, I don't want to say that. Yeah, it's run of the mill Brockton people. I don't know how else. No, I didn't see any white nationalists posing as Antifa either. This is really disorganized. They went in with the intention of, just popping off. I saw a guy get hit with a rubber bullet and then say, hit me again, hit me again. I almost got a rubber bullet for that. But, tear gas, they were just filling the streets with it. And people were not so much running when there was tear gas or rubber bullets or anything like that. What got people running was the same reason that I left, honestly, because they were bringing in school buses of cops and they had zip ties ready to go. They were going to start arresting people, and that seemed to get people to take off pretty quickly. Although, by the time that I was walking around, they had started to advance towards the line again. It's just, I don't understand. And I had to actually walk the long way around back to my car because maybe it looked like 60 riot cops had blocked off the street where my car was on. And so I talked to people on the way back, and it's just I didn't have a lot of people that could like vocalize to me what they were doing. And you say to people like, look, there's human beings on this side of the line, right? Like there's still human beings on the other side too. Like, what are you doing? How are you treating your fellow human beings like this? They didn't really have a good answer as to why. I just don't understand why. This accomplishes absolutely nothing. You're burning down your own freaking neighborhood. You're acting like animals. You're not encouraging any discourse with the police or any real change. It's just this like pent up frustration and anger that spills over into something that has obviously been really destructive all over the place. Today in Warwick, they burned down a Burger King. I found out. Brockton definitely wasn't the worst of it, but it's still throwing fireworks at the police. It's a dumb thing to do. Yeah, peaceful riot. It was a peaceful riot. No, but I mean, it could have been a lot worse. It definitely could have been a lot worse. I will say there was this one girl that was, kind of next to me. She kept winding up like she was throwing a brick, and I went in and I said, like, I'm not gonna cause any trouble. I'm not gonna get. I did give myself a B minus because I did get a little bit mouthy towards the protesters, but not as bad as I could have been. But this woman just kept winding up like she's gonna throw a freaking brick, and every time I'd be like, "Don't you throw that goddamn brick, you bitch!" Like that is a stupid thing too. Throwing bricks at people? Are you kidding me? Now they're smashing windows in Brockton. Well, I guess they got out at a good time, or a bad time, I guess, if I wanted footage. But I really didn't get arrested tonight. All burning, damaging, looting, and arresting. Now I did see that. I did see that. They had a lot of out of town arrests. I don't know. Everybody looked pretty Brockton that was there. Just so like the anger and like the energy is like palpable when you're sitting in the middle of that crowd because people are just so angry. Yeah, I've seen and heard that claims that I don't know how true this is. I don't know how true this is. Yeah, the chick that I'm not getting arrested. That's really what started the crowd, just like the threat of arrest more than anything else. Hi, Bruce. Welcome. Yeah, definitely some mob mentality. And I'm surprised that I didn't get like beat down or something because I was getting a little mouthy. But also, like when they had the street blocked off, and I tried to go around to my car. One of the officers approached me and said, like, "Nope, can't go down here." I kind of like lowered my mask a little bit. Said, "Hey, thank you for your service. I know this sucks right now, but you guys are doing a really good job." And I got some like weird glances, but nobody said anything to me or anything. But I mean, just like with any other job, I think that if you're in a high stress environment, it helps sometimes if someone just says like, "Hey, you're doing a good job," no matter what the profession is, but especially in this scenario, because these guys are just standing there while people are throwing, water bottles and glass bottles and fireworks at them. It's absolutely ridiculous. Did I try and get Glenn Taze? Glenn does not live in Brockton, Massachusetts. That's pretty far. So no, I didn't try to get him. Davey's saying a few of those mysterious brick piles have been exposed to have been there for months as part of construction in those areas. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't really prescribe to a lot of these conspiracy theories. I just don't. I know, my daughter is a teenager and she's been really kind of transfixed with this, and she's introduced me to ACAB, which stands for all cops are bastards, which obviously I take issue with. I don't like that very much. But she's trying to show me videos of, oh look, the police are breaking windows and there's not a protester in sight. And it's like, no, I mean, what it looks like, the video that you're showing me is that this window was already smashed and they were, breaking off loose glass for safety's sake. But there's a lot of the conspiracy and propaganda going around this. Yeah, our streets are bricks. That's like, I don't believe that there's a lot of, conspiracy to this. It just seems like a lot of people with a lot of pent up frustration that are, taking it out in an environment where I wouldn't say that it's permissible, but you just get that mob together because you would kind of watch. They would stand behind the line. Somebody would go on the other side of the line and start kind of pacing back and forth. And you could almost watch how people were getting more emboldened. And then, without a doubt, within a few minutes, something would fly across that line. So, I mean, it really is just people feeding off each other and making these decisions that are just terrible. Did I wear any protective equipment? No, I didn't. I wore a N95 surgical mask because of coronavirus. It was an impulse decision. I wanted to go, and then I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to go to one. The worst is probably over, and I can go there and film a peaceful protest, but plenty of people are going to be doing that. And then I changed my mind and went to Brockton. So I ended up showing up in some some cropped leggings, flip flops, a mask, and a hoodie. So I definitely wasn't dressed for the occasion. Did I loot any diapers for emo? No, I thought about it, but I hope it doesn't happen in smaller towns too, but I have heard that there's a possibility that some of this behavior might start to filter over into the suburbs. What if I had to run? I can run in flip flops. I really can run in flip flops. No, Gary, I was not wearing my cop uniform, I think. He says I was a soft target. No, I was a soft target, but like I said, on the way out, I was talking to people. I think if you treat everybody like a human being, you generally get a favorable response. I didn't have any issues with either the police or the protesters, really. No, I didn't wear. Oh, first of all, Brandon, I have to be honest. I'm not a Trump guy. I'm just not. That being said, I'm not like a raging liberal either. I'm somewhere in between. But I did not wear, like a blue line shirt or anything else, simply because it didn't seem like the right. I didn't want to be incendiary. I just want. Did I run into any National Guard? Yep, the National Guard was there. Someone tried to burn down Dighton Rock. Like, that's just disgusting. Did I get any digits of cute cops? Well, no, I don't. I don't do that. No, I was not detained. It's just awful. It really is awful. The whole situation is just really sad to watch. It's sad to watch people in this condition. And it's sad to know what kind of potential this has for long-term ramifications, because this is absolutely not helping the relationship between the authorities and citizens. It's not. It's just, really widening that rift. Did I hit? No, I didn't hit on anyone. It was a protest, not speed dating. Is Josh Abrams in any of the protests? I don't know. I didn't see him there. I mean, Josh Abrams would be smart to just stay home, because he doesn't help anything. He and the resistance and some of the other guys I've seen out there, Glenn, like, they're just, pouring gasoline on what is already kind of a raging inferno. You know what I mean? Like, people are tense enough. They don't need people like Glenn and Josh and John out there, professional agitators, really just pouring gasoline on this fire. No, I did not tell them that I was media, because I'm not media. And that's why I didn't try to dig my heels in and stay either. When I heard that they were talking about the curfew and they were going to be arresting people, I don't have a right to be out there. I'm not the media. There's no need for me to be out there. Like, I'm going to go home. Yeah. Yeah, the Boston cops kneeling tonight was moving. And that's what I mean. Like, you know, uh, I understand the outrage over what happened to George Floyd. I really do. I mean, I 110% am behind that. However, the Boston police, the Brockton police, the Warwick police, the Providence police, they have nothing to do with that. They don't. And the entire reason that people can organize and protest is because of those police details. That's how you get a permit. So, I mean, they're just doing their job, and because they're out there, you can be out there. Yeah, I mean, it's just really, and I live in a very quiet town, so, like, it was definitely like, once I get on the highway and it's dead silent here, which is like a very stark contrast to what I just walked out of a couple hours ago, an hour ago. No, I saw, that's not true. I didn't see people kneeling initially. Now, when they started to move the line back and it looked like people were, they wanted people to leave, somebody at one point goes out back to the line and kneels, and then more people go join him, and then they start with the cars rolling in and they're screaming and revving engines and everything else. So, oh, it looks like Unchained has some shooting in her neighborhood. I mean, it's just like, this is not helping anything. This isn't helping anything. One loss of life does not justify more loss of life. You know what I mean? In my opinion, anyway. Why did I decide to go to the front line? Because that's where I wanted to be. That's what I wanted to see. I guess no one's coming on this panel, so I'll take more questions, and then, I got to go inside and ask my family for forgiveness for taking off. Because honestly, they weren't thrilled. I'm not brave. I didn't find it to be a particularly frightening situation. I was more curious than anything else. And obviously, like, this is history. It might not be the proudest moment in our history, but it's still history. And realistically, I can do one of two things. I can sit on the sidelines from the comfort and safety of my house and I can commentate on it, or I can, make the decision to go out and witness it firsthand and experience it. And I chose the latter because that seemed like um, the most respectable thing to do. I did not see Glenn getting sprayed, but like I said, I did get tear gassed. I had a canister actually land right next to me, and it wasn't the most pleasant experience of my life, but I didn't cry either. So Glenn is a confirmed bitch. Had there been no pandemic, do you think these demonstrations would not have occurred? That's a hard question. I mean, I don't I think they probably still would have, honestly, because if you look at like Ferguson or the LA riots, or I mean, a situation like this does tend to spark enough outrage to motivate and mobilize these protests. I mean, it's hard to speculate on. I definitely think that the pandemic has compounded a lot of the pressure, and this is the outcome. I don't know that these protests would have become so violent. I mean, because it's literally like uh, all over the map. They're just popping off. Were the police using jammers? Yeah. Yeah, they were. Am I single? No, I'm not. Well, I mean, yeah, I was that's normally Howard. Yeah, now everybody's in a mask. I don't know. I mean, I was in Brockton, so I feel like in Brockton most people have time to participate. I mean, it's hard to say. I don't love speculating on anything, and I think that I'm probably not qualified to make a full analysis as to, the effect that the pandemic has had on these protests. I know it's been a hell of a year.
What's up, y'all? Can you hear me? Hello?
Oh God, we got more of those. Yeah, I think the pandemic probably did amp this up. I would agree with that. Brought a sidekick with me for protection, preferably not with a whisk. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I asked if anybody wanted to go. It was really last minute. Like, it was just one of my impulse decisions. And I didn't feel unsafe at any point. I really didn't.
Can I not hear somebody? Is that what
Oh
that
no,
says?
I can hear you now.
Can because I only hear you talking. Is there somebody else talking?
It's just me.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, hey, how's it going, y'all? Oh,
What's up, Oak?
I'm still out in the cabin, so I'm just
What?
I said I'm still out in the cabin,
Oh,
so
fun.
I'm just hanging.
Oak, I think I lost you.
Can you still hear me?
Now I can hear you. Hello?
All right. Maybe I'll jump off because I got like yes. I think I'm gonna jump off because I'm in the middle of nowhere, so my
Okay.
service is not great.
We're just like rife with technical difficulties today. I don't even know. Like a Leon Valley City Council Zoom meeting. That's funny. I never, Jimmy, I never consent, and I asked for 3 supervisors. I don't even know. I think we'll probably make this a short stream just because, like, I have to go inside, and I probably do want to wash my face. I again did get tear gassed, and
Did you?
oh, who's in here? Yeah, no, I did.
All right.
Oh, it's what's
Did
up?
you get any footage of your holding your face, yelling, "I can't see. I need to make another GIF"?
No, I didn't yell at all, unfortunately. I mean, like I said, it wasn't like the most pleasant experience of my life, but I didn't feel the need to like cry or yell or anything either.
Oh man, you could have yelled the war cry of Glenn. I can't see. Where's my phone?
I should have.
Yeah. Oh man, I've just enjoyed all of the wonderful content that has been coming in from all of the auditing community out there.
Oh yeah, I know they've been wild, absolutely wild.
Yeah.
He agrees too, apparently.
I just I'm just trying to figure out when somebody's going to realize that I'm press or I'm the media doesn't work.
Yeah, no, like you're not. That's why, like I said, like as soon as they were like, "Oh, curfew, people are gonna get arrested," I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not the press, and I need to leave here."
Yeah, and L.A. I was still watching the helicopter views of L.A. that they were getting. Everybody's getting wrapped up in L.A. If you were on the street, you were getting wrapped up.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. It really is.
Yeah, they're not going to fool around anymore out there.
Yeah, I mean, and there's nothing constructive came from this evening. That's like I can, or anywhere that I can see really. Like it wasn't constructive protesting.
Yeah. It's kind of pandemonium here at the house too. Everybody just kind of poured in after getting their new Nike shoes, and we're all trying them on right now. So it's kind of
I tried to loot a bra for Josh Abrams, but they were all out of his size.
Yeah. I was a little bit mad too that the flat screen doesn't fit the bracket that they grabbed, so I got to take it back on Thursday.
I hate when they do that.
Yeah, as soon as they open.
Yeah,
I don't know. It may be a while.
No, I've heard that they are smashing windows now in Brockton, which is just like this such bullshit, absolute such bullshit. And like again, like on my way back because I had to walk the long way, and as it turns out, I walked past the housing authority and then down, past the project. So, talking to a lot of different people, nobody could really articulate like what they hope to accomplish. Like, like how does this help? And it's a lot of this isn't just about George Floyd. They don't give a fuck about us. And I would say, well, you're human beings, right? And there are human beings on the other end of the line. Well, they don't think we're human. Like, you don't know that. You haven't sat down and talked to them.
Yeah, and I have to. I wish Peachy Rider could have left a little bit of the ideology at home.
Yeah.
Peachy Rider was before Peachy got arrested. Was getting some fantastic coverage there in Atlanta of people trying to have a dialogue. Now, of course, they tried to warn him, look, curfew's coming and we have to move you out. So, you guys might want to think about doing it now. Gave them fair warning before they had to move him out. But there was a lot of good dialogue there.
Well, I mean, you're not setting up for good dialogue when you're screaming, fuck 12 from the other side of a line, where there's cops in riot gear. Like, it's not the best way to start a conversation. And peaceful protesting is one thing, but this, I mean, I haven't seen anything that's been like just legitimately peaceful.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a few things that were a little rowdy and people getting a little loud, but didn't necessarily develop into anything nefarious.
Right.
Um, and and just for example, again back in Atlanta, there were people screaming and yelling and being very, you know, excited, and law enforcement was being very cool, calm, and collected, and still trying to have a conversation with folks. I mean, taking their helmets off, setting their gear down, stepping out in front of the line, making themselves vulnerable to have a conversation with some people. But then on the contrast, after all that happened, was Providence, Rhode Island last night was off
That
the
was
hook.
terrible.
And I keep calling her Miss or Ms. Providence. What's the one? There's one gal there that I guess is a part of the Allen report or part of that crew. And apparently, and I saw the very end of the stream, apparently got hit with a projectile and knocked to the ground and went to the hospital. And that was right there down the street from the Capitol building or the city hall, and the cruiser was burning, and there was tear gas getting thrown back and forth. Apparently, some people think that people showed up with like industrial strength equipment from the protester side. I speculate that they may have stole it from the cruiser when it got abandoned.
Yeah, I'm not. That's. I mean, that's. They kept picking up the goddamn canisters and throwing them back again tonight. And it's like, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, it just went crazy there, and you know, at least from our perspective, watching these live feeds, one person got hurt.
Right.
So I just have a bad feeling that there's going to be a lot more injuries, a lot more deaths. We're starting to see some of these videos that are popping up here and there of things occurring, you know, people being dragged underneath FedEx trucks, people being beaten in the street because they were swinging swords around in some failed attempt to protect a street or business or something.
Yeah, no, I mean, I saw on the news earlier, there was one guy that was like, we're going to harm ourselves and protect our gym. And honestly, like, good for him. But again, like, even it was a middle-aged white guy, certainly didn't seem to be, on the Black Lives Matter or the, outrage side of the, the George Floyd situation. Even he was expressing that he no longer necessarily trusted the police. Like, this isn't helping anything on any side.
Right. Well, I mean, and we see it, and I see it. We see it every day of all of the social media out there and people throwing out their conspiracies and ideologies. And, of course, everybody painting things with very, very broad brushes.
Right.
On both sides. Everybody paints with a broad brush.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Excuse me if I say anything crazy. I've been drinking quite a bit.
Darn it. Where have you been?
Yeah.
I'm at home all week, and I'm not even drinking. Damn it. What the hell?
I'm in my cabin, man. I'm chilling. I'm out in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
But, hey. I had heard Kate say that there were cell phone jammers at the protest.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure that would have been law enforcement that would have had that. I would think it would have been, was the National Guard there?
Yeah, the National Guard was there.
It was probably the National Guard because inside of the Humvees, they have what they call a Duke system. The Duke system can shut down all cell service. They use them for stopping IEDs activated by cell phones downrange.
Right.
It could have been them.
Yeah, no, that's entirely possible. Yeah, the National Guard was there, state police, and of course, I mean, just like an insane amount. And the way that the protest was, there was like a parking garage, so that they had to cover not only the line, but then over on the parking garage. And it was just ridiculous the way that people were acting, just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, there's no good way to go about it. I mean, like, it seems like law enforcement initially tried the peaceful approach, and then shit just kept getting broken and broken and broken, and now we're on like what, the 6th night of protests. And
Yeah.
I think today they drew a line in the sand, and like if you read, so I read Police One, and like the tone of the articles, which is kind of like what, if you read Police One, it's kind of like gives you an idea of what approach law enforcement is going to take. So maybe like, okay, well, these people are, doing their rights, and just stay professional. That's how it was when it first started out. And now the article I just read was like, law enforcement is going to take back the streets. It's going to be aggressive enforcement, this and that. And it's like, I guess it didn't work one way, so they got to go the other way.
I understand, though. I mean, I do. And I will say, like, any footage that I've seen in Massachusetts anyway, as well as my own experience tonight, like, they've been professional. They've been absolutely professional.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of restraint to have that many insults hurled at you, bottles, fireworks, and not have a visceral reaction,
You duck.
The first two
Yeah.
nights, so the first night was just madness, and I think they kind of took like a very liberal approach on it. And then the second night, it got violent, and they were throwing. I mean, it's always been violent, but it got more violent. They started throwing fireworks and large bricks at law enforcement. The third night, they took the beating again, and now we're here, and they're not taking shit no more.
That was the one thing.
Unfortunately,
I was going to say that was the one thing that I found interesting, and part of the Allen report was a young girl with a large box full of very tall mortar tubes, handing them out to protesters.
Oh yeah, that's Antifa. Did you see the I'll post it in.
I mean, they definitely had bricks. Like I said, there was a woman next to me that just, kept winding up like she was going to throw the brick. And every time she would, I'd be like, don't you do that. Like,
I didn't get to watch the whole video.
Yeah, she'll throw the brick and you'll get the tear gas cannon in the face.
well, the rubber bullets are what I was more worried about, if we're being honest.
Oh, you guys.
The one thing I have seen tonight more than any other night is that some of the peaceful demonstrators are fighting back against these looters, against these agitators.
Hello, can you guys hear me? Hello.
My guy?
Yeah. I saw some of them trying to self-regulate, you know what I mean? Be like, guys, stop it. But I mean, there were people that are just there to cause havoc regardless, and that's what they were going to do.
All right,
Yeah,
hey,
I was watching the DC of one person, his live feed at the Lafayette Park in outside the White House, and there was a young woman started shaking the fence. I'm talking a temporary fence that could have come down rather easily if everybody was going at it. And you're talking grounds of the White House here. They're not going to tolerate that for more than just a few minutes. And the people behind her knew it and started trying to get her to stop. She started having an argument with the people behind her that were trying to stop her.
was that when Trump went to like the freaking church that they burned down, kind of?
No, that was just a
Where
few
did I
hours
cut
ago.
out at? I
Oh,
was in the
really?
middle of saying something important.
Oh shit! It's Oak. You just dox yourself, man. Josh is gonna come after you again.
He's up in the woods.
Oh really? He just went on cam right now. Josh is gonna be like, "Oh yeah, look, I got
Start
one of the
wrong
test-"
buttons.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, I got one of the testicle twins."
That wasn't Oak. That was Sasquatch.
That was Bigfoot.
It was a werewolf.
Oh man. Admittedly, I didn't really watch the whole video that Kate was in because like the shit kept on it kept on stopping and buffering, and then it gave me like an error. I don't know why. Like it was just giving me so many problems.
Yeah, I'm not totally convinced that they're using any kind of cell phone jamming. I mean, in a combat situation, I can understand it, but not here in the United States where you knock out a cell site or two and you have people that are calling in for emergencies that need help and can't because somebody's jamming it. There's going to be repercussions.
Yeah, exactly.
I know that I lost cell service until I got out of the vicinity.
Yeah, I saw your connection was just really bad, really bad. It's just like somebody said in the comments earlier in the other video, like it just must have been like just so many people using the network at the same time that it just caused so much traffic, and it in turn just slowed down your device.
Yeah, what it is a cell site can handle just so many calls, and when it reaches its limited bandwidth, and I want to tell you, we haven't reached the limit of what fiber can do, but it's the equipment on each end that has limits. And once that bandwidth limit is met, there aren't going to be too many other people joining.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you send up a flare yet, Officer Oak?
Oh man, I just can't get a fucking cell service out here.
Yo, Oak,
Where-
you know you got doxed, bro.
Bro, I've been doxxed. I don't give a shit.
All right, cool, good.
Climb up a tree.
Listen, man, talk to your homie Bigfoot, bro. He'll probably give you
They give him a
give you some
boost up.
bars. He'll probably give him a nice big bar, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, what's the old
Yeah,
saying?
bro.
Walk in a circle watching the bars.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I gotta
Gotta
jump
shut
off of here because I gotta change my clothes and wash my face and stuff. I don't want to.
All right, my guy.
All right,
Are
good,
you just- are
good
you
to
gonna-
know you're
All
home,
right.
Kate.
Are you gonna
All
keep the live
All
going,
right,
or
yeah, I'm fine.
what's going on with all that? Oh, okay. She's just gonna keep the live going. Cool.
Sounds like me after a smokehouse session.
I'm gonna bow out too, fellows.
All
So
right,
you
bro.
guys stay safe. All right.
Yeah,
Take it easy, man.
I'm trying.
bro. She probably smells like fucking pepper spray and shit right now.
That kind of stuff you don't want to bring in the house.
Nah, one time I had a friend who he had like a can of pepper spray and he sprayed it in the air because he was showing me how it works. And he's a fucking retard because it was a little windy, so the fucking pepper spray went back and a little piece of it hit me in the eye, and I was like, "Ah, I can't see."
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, I pulled a straight up fucking Glen Serio, dude. Like just straight up. That shit, and it was a little speck of it, dude, and it hit me in the eye. That shit hurt like hell. But I was fine in like a couple seconds. But like, oh my
My
god.
only experience was in basic training. We went through a room filled with tear gas and wearing gas masks.
Yeah.
And they said
Got you full on.
the last few minutes before they let us out, they said, anybody that wants to experience it, take your mask off. And I did. And yeah, it was a mistake, but I handled it.
But you see, you took it full on though. Like me, it was just like a little fucking speck of it, you know? That's crazy, dude.
All right, Joe. I'm gonna jump off.
Jump off too. Damn. So why did she keep the live going if she's just gonna get off like that?
Yeah,
She
she'll
said, "Give me
probably
a
come
quick
back
summary
to
of
it.
y'all's thoughts," and she'll end the stream.
Alrighty.
Somebody else pull it up, I think.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm working on something right now. As I fucked something up royally, and I had to like retexture this whole fucking thing. So I'm not too happy about that. I am.
No, I've got a dozen windows opened and 3 times that saved on projects I'm not completed. One of
Jeez.
these days.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that she started streaming so late. Hang on. Gary, honestly, I gotta tell you, like that is for a fact. Like for a fact, he should have been like ready. He talks so much shit. And you know, like here's a rule. Like there's a rule. Like it's like almost like an unspoken one. You just like when you're talking to a police officer, you gotta be respectful. I understand that not all cops are like the best, and there's a couple of them out there that are just fucking douchebags. But it's like if you keep it respectful, they like if you don't give them a hard time, they won't give you a hard time. Simple. That's just how it is. But if you're constantly giving them a hard time all the fucking time, it's just gonna be like, wow, I'm the only one here. What the hell?
No, you're not.
Oh, okay. I thought like it just showed my one thing there. I'm
Yeah,
like,
when it's up like that, that's by design.
oh, okay. For a second, I thought I was like the only one here. Nah, but yeah, no, it's just, you know, you don't give them a hard time, then they won't give you a hard time. Simple. Like I said that
Yeah,
already.
tell that to the people
No,
over
they
there
make
by Lafayette Park yesterday.
yeah, no, they make a living just being disrespectful and causing destruction. Like fuck them. And those rioters, dude, they're just pent up. Like they're just pent up because they literally, you know, they've been trapped in their houses all freaking like couple months. You know.
Well, that's why I mentioned the question about the pandemic. The pandemic has people on edge,
Yeah.
and they're just letting themselves go after having
Made
been
every,
pent up for 6 weeks.
yeah. It made everything worse for those people. That is.
Well, now they're predicting a second wave,
Oh yeah,
and
people are already starting to get
even more
infected.
serious.
Yep. Because they're not even social distancing. I mean, what are they gonna do? Social distance riot? Like,
Oh, the worst of it is the people not wearing masks at all these rallies.
yeah,
If they're positive, they're infecting anybody near them.
exactly, dude. They're fucking dumb. They're so
All right,
inconsiderate.
guys, can you hear me now?
Hey, man, how you doing, bro? I miss you, man. How you been?
That's all right. I've been I took a little hiatus. I'm actually going to continue to take a hiatus, but I just needed to step in tonight to kind of run things. This was kind of impromptu with what Kate was doing, and we tried to talk her out of going down there tonight, but, you know, she's
insane.
she's a little headstrong and decided that she was going to go anyways, so.
She's crazy, bro.
Yeah, we went on so late. We went on so late because she was on her way back and trying to set the stream up from her phone, and then I was trying to set it up from my tablet, and she couldn't log in, and we couldn't figure out why. It's because she was still logged in under, you know, the main screen, so it just wasn't letting her. So, anyways, so that's why we went on so late. But yeah, we're gonna wrap this whole thing up. But if you guys, you know, I don't know if you guys each want to kind of give your thoughts on, you know, whatever, you know, your final thoughts on everything we've seen today from or the last couple of days from Boston to Providence, Brockton tonight, where Kate was, or across the country. You know, Lord High Fixer, I'll let you go first, and then Diver, you can wrap it up, and we'll call it a night.
Just like the whole rioting thing. Like
Yeah, just the riots, the protests. I mean, just whatever images have stuck with you over the last couple of days. You know, whatever. You have the floor.
Honestly,
Oops.
I'm pretty sure. Huh?
Yeah, wrong button.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Go ahead.
There we go. All right, so like, you know, I'm pretty sure everybody's in the same boat with me on this. Like, these people that are protesting, they're just freaking ridiculous, dude. Like, they just want to just cause destruction, and they're not doing anybody any favors right now by doing this shit. And that guy George Floyd, he literally didn't want people to be violent like this. There's a video where he's talking about like our youth, you know, saying that they're lost because all they're doing is pulling out gats and fucking shooting each other, killing each other all the time. It's just like, you know, it's kind of eye-opening, the shit that he says in that video. And then to have all these people do the exact opposite of what he would have wanted, like, because of his death. Like, it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace to this country. It's a disgrace to that man that died. It's just fucked up, man. I really have nothing much else to say besides that, you know.
All right, man. Thanks, Diver.
Yeah.
Your final word.
Yeah, well, this isn't the first series of riots across the country that we've had. I've lived through several. Never been involved in it.
Sorry, Diver, I'm going to cut you off real quick. For those of you guys who think I'm Mitch, I'm not Mitch. This is Sound Guy. Anyways, sorry, continue.
No problem. You're the engineer. And yeah, I'm old enough to have been through several of these riding sessions. My father had to buy gear back in the 60s when he was a policeman, just in case it came our way. Luckily, it didn't. But people have evil streaks. Everybody does. It just depends on how much you can control it. And a lot of people have not learned how to control themselves in their lives. So these things happen. And as I always say, reality bites, but I'm living in it.
Yeah, we all are, bro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the one thing I'll say is obviously, I can't, I can never walk in, I can never understand what it's like to walk in the shoes of a minority in this country. I mean, I know I joke around and my nickname is Sound Guy Juan, but I'm obviously not, a minority here. So, I don't want to talk out of turn. I think the important thing is for people to stop talking as much and start listening a little bit more. And what really was frustrating to me, over the last couple of days was seeing, out of context quotes, most notably from, Dr. Martin Luther King, saying that, riots are the language of the unheard, or, I'm paraphrasing. I think I got it pretty close there. And, the thing that frustrates me about seeing that quote being used so often is it's taken out of context and it's bastardizing the message and what his entire life's work was about. He was saying that he understood where the anger came from, but he wasn't condoning violence and rioting and looting. And the people who are using that quote to excuse that type of behavior are undermining everything that he and other civil rights leaders who advocated for, nonviolence. It's all being undermined by these people who are trying to, just take over these protests and make it into something that it's not. Make it not about George Floyd and the injustice there, but just making it a violent party. And that's not what is going to push race relations or anything forward in this country. So I was really disappointed to see what began as promising protests, marches, demonstrations spill over into violence because some knuckleheads just still don't get it. And so, yeah, so I guess that's just that's kind of my final take on that. So thanks to Kate for going down there and putting herself in harm's way, against the better judgment of some of us who are telling her not to. But she's headstrong and she went. So, and we got some cool footage. So good for her. Thanks to Desert Sentinel, Officer Oak, NJ Diver, Lord High Fixer. Thank you guys for hopping on.
No problem.
What?
I said no problem.
Glad to have you guys, and you're welcome anytime. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like this video. We'll be live again Sunday at 7 p.m. We might be back in the studio this week, but that's still up in the air. So we'll see what's what. But thank you guys all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
All right.
Good night.
Night, guys.